Just hit start on streaming. What's happening right now, if you're in the stream, is that I have rebuilt my commander deck with a focus on being the best commander deck it can be, and that does mean changing it from Oloro to Zur. Zur is lethal and can be as lethal, can attack for lethal basically on turn two, or turn one, not turn one, turn two, with a god draw. But the point being that it can. Oloro never ever can. The only everything Oloro can do, the Zur can do better, basically. So here's the deck list. There we go. Oloro is the best commander in a format where you plan not to play commanders. If you actually are going to be playing with a commander, then you need to abuse the power of that commander. You need to take it. You need to leverage the power of that commander, I should say. And there's no power in Oloro that you can leverage reasonably well. Well of Lost Streams is like the only way you can take advantage of Oloro's ability. It requires another card that you have to fetch up, and it becomes a target. Okay. What am I playing? Karametra. Very, very weak. I actually can keep this, I think, because it's got basically everything I want. Anyway, with the Zur deck, there's some changes though, and I kind of went over them earlier, but for the stream, the changes are that there's a lot of things you don't need to be doing, and there are ways that you can build the deck that allow you to combo off very quickly and easily with a minimum number of slots. The only slot that actually requires for a consistent combo is a one slot for every tower, and that's it. The combo is Necro plus something with unlimited hand size, Thought Vessel or Reliquary Tower, and in a card that rewards you for your hand size. So you get every tower out and you start gaining 30 or 40 life per turn with 30 or 40 cards in your hand. There's no beating that ever. The only possible way they could beat you if you draw so many cards is I don't know, what are these mulligan? I hate the mulligan rules. I hate the bad mulligan rules. Would be if they could do enough direct damage to finish you off, but that doesn't happen when you've got tower. Why can't I can't even submit the deck now? What is going on here? Is that because it's... Why am I even in a sideboarded game with this guy? All right, I'm just gonna go to the lobby. I don't know what just happened here. Match options, 1 win, 25 minutes. Oh, somehow I lost all of my options. Allow watchers, all players. 1-on-1. Commander, Zur. Okay. I'm not sure what happened, so. Anyway, there are some other changes as well. The agonizing demise, or whatever it is, the new instant, it's kind of like Vindicate. It's basically an instant speed Oblivion Ring that costs you life. I just went ahead and replaced with Oblivion Ring because Oblivion Ring is Zur tutorable. I could always add that as another removal spell should I ever decide to, but currently instead of using that, what I'm using is Treachery, because I think I want to have more blue cards for Force of Will. I want to have cards that combo with Winter Orb. I want to be able to punish my opponent for playing with their own excellent commander. And Treachery does a much better job of that than just killing it and giving it a price increase. The commander mechanic actually really encourages you to unfortunately, because you can no longer tuck commanders, there's a very high reward for playing control magic effects. And I know that one of the things that people hate is control magic effects, but look, if I can't get rid of your guy permanently one way, I'll just take it and beat you with it another. That's the thinking anyway. That's kind of how things have to go. All right, so Brago, this could go... Interestingly, this may go on the bottom. I'm trying to get to where I have mana for Zur. My opponent's not playing black, so I can make him play black. If I ever get an Urborg, then the Felwar will start producing black mana. But till then, I went ahead and tucked the other card because the Worn Power Stone, because I just wanna have my fourth. Yep, artifact for Brago. No, junk. Okay, I'm good with that. All right, so that's good timing. If this would, there we go, tap correctly, thank you. Dot vessel, let's kill some blue. Alright, so I don't know what's going on with this other guy, but I don't really want to play two at once, so he's going to have to wait for a while. Oh, okay, there we go. The other guy conceded to the strip mine. That works for me. This is the Karametra guy who mulliganed himself to death earlier. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and mulligan himself to death now, and I guess I'm not going to get a game against either of these players. In 3 games, I got 0. Really poorly constructed decks and a really poorly thought out mulligan system leads to that kind of boredom, unfortunately. I'm going to take off the recording and just leave streaming. Alright. So far, Zur is undefeated and most games have been utter pushovers. Like, I've just run over people. The mana's a little different here too. I probably should be using the land that allows me to name a creature type, make that creature type uncounterable. Then I could name Wizard for Trinket Mage and Zur, or Human for Trinket Mage and Zur, either way. I might want to play other creatures, maybe. Glenelendra and Dark Confidant are both wizards, so you could name Wizard and cover your commander and every creature in the deck except for Metamorph. But it's everything's a matter of slots, so I don't really like, excuse me, hiccups. I do like the fact that I have less targets for a bribery. Okay, here we go. Zur on Zur. Is this even a keepable hand? With the Ponder, I would say yes. Now I simply have to hope that he doesn't yeah, Cavern of Souls. That's the card that I don't have that I probably should have. Oh, very nice. So do I want to push my way towards Mana Drain? Do I want to Ponder here, or do I want to Vamp? Basically is what. So if I Vamp into... I'm tempted to waste or strip that. Okay, well, we definitely don't want this mess of cards. Shuffle, yeah, absolutely. Alright, that seems to have rewarded me. Fortunately, this produces any colors, so the Felwar will be a City of Brass. Oh, that's really nice. So the best way to do this, I wanna run out as much. If I run out the Signet into Felwar, yeah, I think I'll do that. He has a little bit of time here to like I don't have Mana Drain up right now, but I think this is pretty good nevertheless. Alright, so I'm thinking what I do here is I just go get Necro and just win the game. Like, instead of messing around with trying to get my commander down and everything. At least I think I win the game if I get Necro. I should. Oh, I have Reliquary Tower. So yeah, I definitely should win the game. All right, so let's make sure that I'm not being crazy, because I can get Necro as my commander, so that might just be a waste of time. Um, if I get Necro, 1, 2, 3, if I get a Strip Mine or a Waste, he won't be able to cast without potential problems. Um, yeah, I think I'd rather just. I mean, I don't see, like, I have a huge advantage, so I just don't want him to be able to do anything over there. The fact that I have Urborg in hand means I can turn on the workshop. So I don't care if he went top or bottom on that. Suppose I'll look top. Okay, whatever. God, why is this doing this to me? Why is this going this gigantic? Like, is there some way to undock this? Ugh. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana total. But I put that into that. Yeah, I can actually do this, I think. I think I actually cast my commander and have a counterspell here. So if it was any other counter, I might wait, but it's a mana drain, so I'm gonna actually go with drain myself instead of muddle, because I'd like to have the option to muddle into something. Say Demonic Tutor, for example. So if he uses his turn to play his commander, then I win. Okay, he used it to play, oh, Supreme Verdict? Fine. Alright, so best way to do this, I can transmute muddle and I can get Winter Orb, which is probably going to win the game. I just want to lock him down, right? And then Zur costs 6, so 2, 4, 5, 6. And I need 5 for a transmuted. Well, we're going to play this first of all. And we'll shop into this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So transmute, cast. Don't quite have enough, do I? So don't want to go Zur, or just I could just get Necro down now and just probably win that way as well. That might be the best. That might be the smartest thing to do. Blue. 3, 4, 5, 6. God dang it! Now I have to close Magic Online completely again. This is the dumbest. I don't know what is going on with this thing, but I understand what the connection is. The connection is that if I blow up the chat window so that I can see what's going on, and then it goes full screen. I don't know how to make it stop going full screen. So I exit out. Once I exit out, for some reason, all my pop-up windows, like what you just saw, will not come up, and I have to completely restart. And it has something to do with like the docking or memorizing exactly where the chat window is or how it works or something. But ever since the most recent update for Eldritch Moon, I've been locked into this thing where I literally have to log off and log back in order to play. If I ever make the mistake of looking at my chat window, and I can't fix it. Because when it comes up, you can see there's nothing like this. There's no minimize or size adjustment option. So, okay, there's the chat window. Get this chat window. Dang it, get it somewhere else. Why is it there? What is it doing? It is so insane. Okay, thank you. So, I mean, Winter Orb just wins the game, right? Why don't I just Winter Orb him? I don't know. It's silly. So I can't remember if I played a land, and I'm terrified to press this button, and then all of a sudden it takes over my whole entire game and then causes me to have to shut magic off. Oops. No, I definitely did not want to open 2 instances of that. I want to make sure it was closed, as a matter of fact. Okay, so may I tutor, please? So I could actually mind twist his whole hand away, and then he could play Zur. I'd be down to top decking. I'd play Zur, but I'd be late to the party, and I think I would lose that battle. I'm pretty sure that drawing the right answer is draw 25 here. But you can see, like, if I draw 25 and he was able to somehow hold out for a couple of turns where I don't win the game immediately, like, it doesn't take long before a few coin flips, a force of will and whatnot kills me. And who knows if he has something like, I don't know, something stupid like Psionic Blast. But on the other hand, if I'm drawing 25 cards, 100% I'm going to find a way to get a Ivory Tower, and as soon as I do, it's over. I'll gain, 15, 20 life on the next turn, and then draw 20 more. And it's just, you can't beat endless barrage of cards like that, especially not in a format where 4-bit exists. I do need him to let me have my turn, though. Okay, please don't go full screen. Oh, thank you. Let's see if I can send him a message. Okay, now it's doing weird things again with chat windows and stuff. What is that? Docking. What is this stupid mark? I was saying I can dock the window over there? Okay, that's fine. Let's do that. Maybe this will work out. Well, I'd definitely like to continue my turn. Don't want to bore you guys too much, so I will. Whoa. Okay, Zur. Don't tell me I have to. Yep, 1v1. I have to do this all again. All players allow 1 win, 25 minutes. Okay. Is this guy in another game? I don't see one. I don't know what happened here with him. Anyway, here's an opportunity, I suppose, while we're waiting for you to observe some of the variations between Zur and Oloro, if you remember or care about that, for anybody who happens to have maybe built the Oloro deck, whatnot. Kelly the Vast. Okay, I will certainly keep this. Mox Diamond Goodness. Alright, I can probably throw away one of the islands. I don't want to throw away too many islands because I like just another one of those games where I could just win right away. I think what we'll do is we'll get Sir. So we'll win that way. We'll go with Mana Crypt. Does that make sense? Crypt. No, it doesn't make the most sense. I'll probably just Crucible kill this guy. I don't know. He might have a rampy start as well, so that's a bit of an assumption if I do that. I think what I'll do is go with Soul Ring. So if I go Crucible there and the next turn I strip mine him and sit on Mana Drain waiting to, okay, there we go. See, there's a lot of assumptions in that. I suppose Crucible may have been better, but we can do Crucible now as a matter of fact. Strip mine into Soul Ring. And we'll Imperial Seal, we'll go get Crucible. If he wants to play that game, we can play that game. Crucible will also ensure that I get my colored mana here, so yeah. First tutor was a gimme. Okay. And now if he uses that, dares to use that land, yeah, exactly. If he doesn't use the land and he starts playing fetches, then what I can ultimately do is attempt to strip mine and then strip mine again. But I would probably just take it easy on that one. So that was a really quick and simple win, and obviously quite hard for him to recover from, given that there's the ever-present threat of Zur coming down and immediately drawing a million cards for me. So, and that's just, excuse me, hiccups. That's just what makes this commander so crazy, is that you're playing this aggressive control deck that has that ability to just it attacks on two levels. It attacks on the level of, hey, I'm a disruptive control deck, and oh, by the way, I'm a combo deck, a one card combo. So it's very, like you fight and fight and fight over the important things like Crucible, maybe vindicate it or do what you can to get it off the table, win that battle. Zur comes down, you go, uh-oh, I don't have removal, up, instantly game over. Is this guy ever going to let me take a turn? I suspect he's not. Oh, competitive. I like it. Someone advertising competitive makes me happy. Yeah. Okay, whatever. AFK guy. I don't totally blame him. It wasn't like I didn't have to restart there. I mean, it's a little weird. This is kind of barely keepable. I'm gonna try it. This is probably one of the worst hands because it wants to go first turn Ivory Tower, second turn Brainstorm, play the Mire and shuffle away whatever. But I can't because it won't curve correctly unless I draw a land here or a crypt or something. Yeah, see, it just doesn't quite. And I want to cast the Brainstorm off the Prairie Stream. Okay, yeah, this is going to get out of hand quick. So I want to cast a Brainstorm off of that because I want to be able to mire away the cards that I don't want. So here comes Mana Crypt or Sylvan or Soul Ring. One of the three. Survival. Okay, I can see why he got that for the Mimeoplasm. That makes sense as well. That's nice. Okay, so if I brainstorm, I got to be very careful here. How do I do this? She's probably going to survival. I probably have like one turn. Okay. So Rift is too early, and I probably don't need Tower right now. So we'll just dump it. What was I going to get against this guy? Winter Orb, I think? Or Tezzeret, maybe? I just go get Tezzeret against him. I think whatever I was thinking before, Tezzeret's the right answer. I was thinking I would get Necro, but I have Necro on a stick right here. So all I need to do is just lock him out of the game. Alright, there we go. Okay, let's yield till end of turn so he can take his turn. Okay, so what did he do? Nothing. He's going to survive on my turn. So do I want a Mystical Tutor into something? Not really. I can try preordaining and hope I hit a land, which sounds really good. And I think I'll do that. Oh, that's beautiful. I don't want to... If I go top, top... So it was a little risky that if he countered or destroyed the... yeah, sure. If he countered or destroyed the Felwar Stone right there, then of course I don't have 2 mana. But on the other hand, I didn't want to get the fetch land, need to use it and shuffle away the stone, because I'm really quite happy to have both. Vorinclex, okay, does what he does, which is very little against me actually. Even if he gets Vorinclex out, the real... Okay, Jin Gitaxis on the other hand is quite a bit more powerful. Vorinclex, if he gets it out, it just I O-ring it away and then we drive on. So in his graveyard he has Gilded Drake, Vorinclex, Jin Gitaxis. In his hand he has Void Winnower. Even. So I can O-ring it. It's guys like that where Treachery also is extremely good. I mean, imagine treacherying this guy. Alright, so the guy was Void Winnower. He's building up his graveyard for gigantic Living Death, I assume. Of course, he's got Homeward Path, so we don't expect to be doing anything with treachery, but... This is weird. I can understand playing any number of, like, any of these. So Trastodon, yes, in green, 100% for natural order. And Jingatoxis, sure. Void Winnower, sure. But Vorinclex is like, at some point you're getting a little crazy with how many things you've got there. So do I really wanna mess with this at all? Like I can disrupt a little. I know my next card's land. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I will disrupt a little bit. It keeps the mana leak relevant. Alright, so we'll go ahead and shuffle now. So the question is, can I play my commander? And I think the answer right now is no. I could Oblivion Ring this thing away. But I'm not sure that that is doing much for him at this point in the game. And Oblivion Ring is one of my lines of defense against, well, I don't know. He's down to 3 cards. If I take that away, I think I'd rather just, all I want to do here is just Mind Twist him, so just let him use some more sorcery speed stuff if he's going to do that. Alright, 3 cards in hand. No, that matters. It's all accounted for. Alright, that's a yummy mana drain target. And we will Mystical Tutor 4. So, do I want to Mind Twist this guy? A little bit. If I twist with a black and then play that, I'm coming up a little short though. It's the only thing. So I can twist. I can demonic. I could demonic off of black and a colorless and have like 4 colorless left. And we'll take a look here. And then I'd be tutoring for what exactly? Probably for... Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going to demonic. Because we're going to go get Tezzeret here. And Winter Orb him. And then from there, should be easy when I've got a 4-1 mana advantage every turn. I mean, Mind Twisting him is the other option. If I Mind Twist him here, it does take the cards out of his hand, but see, his commander like works with the graveyard, and survival, of course, is a combo card. But both of those are exceptionally hard to use, if not impossible, under the effect of a Winter Orb. So I could get the orb directly, but it makes a lot more sense to go get Tezzeret here. Winter Orb's really hard to beat. Tezzeret into orb is basically impossible. Okay. And that's that. Of course, if he doesn't give up, I'm totally cool with that too. I can go get my commander and use a 1 counter off Tezzeret to fetch up a map so that I can have unlimited hand size. And then I can attack for Necro and draw a million and, well, 30. And then Tezzeret a Ivory Tower to play if I want. Okay, so I can get map, I can get my commander down. I really want the commander down. I can also get Mox Diamond, which is a new option and pretty nice. I might just do that. Or I can tap, tap, untap. Tap and then tap. I kind of like that actually. Tap, tap, untap. Yeah, it's just too much mana. Get black this time and we'll get white. So down comes the big guy. Then I can just do this for 2 and I can go get the artifact mana instead of getting map. Either way. I'm using the black here because I want to keep white untapped for Oblivion Ring, and plus this thing produces black off of his mana, but it doesn't produce white, so. And that's a wrap. See if he wants to try again. Oh, he's not out there. Oh. So if I can hide event, host a new one. What, say that now? Did I spell it right? I always spell that wrong. That's a great start. Was this Riku of 2 reflections? Okay. That is a great start. Alright, so I want to get tax down. I want to get merchant scroll up. So I think I'd rather get scroll going right away here. And just because of the interaction with Glacial Fortress also. So I'm actually going to scroll over playing the Grim. And we will go get ourselves a teachings. So I'm hoping to pause, like to slow down his development with teachings a little bit. It's good timing. But the other thing this lets me do is it lets me be reactive. I've got 4 mana. I can cast teachings if I need to, fetch some kind of solution, like early answer to whatever he might be playing here. So. And if not, I might actually cast it anyway. No, I think I'll wait. Because what I want to teach for is Mind Twist. Oops. I don't want to always yield heads. There's no way to always heads. But before we do any of that, we're going to go for the commander. If I had... Oops. Boy, I am doing terrible right now. That pop-up kind of got to me. So if I had a blue card in my hand, I would have fetched, I would have an end of turn teachings for Force of Will. But I don't, so we'll just do this. So the way I see land tax in this deck is that most of the time it's going to do this, which is nothing. Occasionally, though, when you, especially if you have to mulligan, this is one of those cards that saves you from a mulligan, or is really good if you have to play a draw go game against another blue deck. Land tax is super easy to slip out, and then it helps you win the draw go game because it represents 5 additional land drops potentially. All right. And what's this guy playing? Krenko. So I'm going to need to be fast. This is a decent hand. There's a combo right there for I want to say Tez. For Zur. So there's unlimited hand size. Necropotence. All I need to do now is just get 1 more mana. And the thing with tax, of course, is that I do play Deprive, and I have the Forced Proc, and I do have Scroll Rack, so... I like Scroll Rack more than I like Sensei's Divining Top in a deck that's trying to use a Necro, because if you ever get in a situation where somehow you do get Necro locked, you can... if you have Scroll Rack, it doubles the hand size temporarily, and it can solve that problem for you. But also because just Tax Rack is an amazing way to start the game. I'd really like to sit on a counter, but not as much as I want to develop. So, because if I hit a land here and play my commander, I think that's great. Oops. And there isn't a ton he can do here that's going to be too punishing. That Oblivion Ring won't get me out of, and I'll need a 3rd land for such card. All right. So the fear, of course, is he gets another land and then he's able... oh, there we go. Never mind. There's no fear. That'll work. I was going to say the fear is that he gets Ancient Tomb or Soul Ring or Mana Crypt or Mana Vault. But not anymore. Not worried about it at all. Yep. I could counter this, or I can ring it. I think it's just safer to do this. He's only got 2 cards in hand, so... I might let it go, depending on what else was going on over there, but he's so low on resources right now. So I could go for Zur, and then Oblivion Ring is commander, which will be his follow-up. 3. But again, I'm kind of worried about this. If I had one more land, I don't have to worry about it at all. I think that the play is probably just to let it go. Oblivion Ring on a commander is really good because they always choose to exile it, so it's basically removal that they can't later clear the ring. And okay, yeah, sure. All right, so this isn't a well-constructed Goblin deck at all. I mean, my first tip-off was the Cherugan, but sure, that'll do. So, I mean, he could hit Jace for 2 right now. Not a big deal. I'm not going to use Oblivion Ring at the moment. And I only need one counter. I don't need two. And it looks like I'm going to miss a land drop, so Deprive actually, this is its time to shine. If I were to play that kind of an effect. Since I don't have a land drop for sure next turn, or not for sure, but immediately, this will do that. What I kind of would like to do is Deprive, pick up the shop, and then get rid of the shop with Jace or Brainstorm. If I have to cast Deprive at all, hopefully I don't, but I expect that I will. Maybe he'll give me a Spell Pierce target, and then I'll just Brainstorm. But I expect it to be his commander that gets played here. Okay. Fortunately, he didn't have Cavernous Souls. Okay. So I can plus up Jace, but Jace doesn't really matter. Well, I don't need this. And do I want to get rid of... what's more important to get rid of? Oblivion Ring or Disenchant? If I get rid of Disenchant, yeah, I think I'll get rid of the sorceries. So what I'm planning to do is clear his board for the most part. Only because I kind of would like to keep Jace around. So what I'm hoping he does is he sacks, makes this a 2/2. I Mystical for Swords, I Brainstorm, and then Swords to Plowshares this guy. I think that would be the best way for this to kind of come together. If he doesn't sack to kill Jace here, then that works out quite well as well for me. Also, another turn of Jace is great, and we'll just see what happens. Okay. Gotta keep that 0/2 around. Alright, well in that case I can sweep his board if I want. I don't even know that I care to do that very much. Alright, first of all, let's not have everybody get haste. I'm probably messing around too much. But I have a lot of respect for Krenko's ability to just suddenly and immediately end a game. So I could just get Mind Twist here. I think I will. There's that ring again. So 1, 2, 3. I don't think I need Oblivion Ring too much. I'll put a Spell Pierce on top. Alright, so that lets me get my commander down. And I'm just going to take a little peek here. Alright, I know that the top card is Oblivion Ring, so I definitely want him to have that card that we just looked at. Black, white, blue. I want to make sure that I have enough to twist and do all the things that I want to do. So I am a little bit short. I can twist or play my commander. It doesn't look like I can do both. Except if I clear his hand, I know that there's nothing coming because I just saw what his next card is. So we'll do that. Alright, so we'll dump his hand. And I tapped my mana this way because I might have to counter in response. Sure. If I had to counter in response, I would want to be able to still play Zur. So 3, 4. Now, unfortunately, he just went into extra planar lens territory, so I actually don't know what his next card is. So could be worth it to wait a turn. Just don't want it to be Mana Crypt, Ancient Tomb, Soul Ring. He's got no cards in hand at all, so it's probably safe to wait a turn. Let's see if he can beat me. Side effect of this gamble is that he won't be able to attack Jace anymore. Unless he draws a creature that's big enough to do it. There we go. Oh, that's game over. Alright, so there's the ring. So we can ring down one of those cards if I want. I don't really need Jace much anymore. Let's just slow him down. Okay. Okay, that works too. So I thought about, obviously I'm going to just go get Necro here. We're only going to draw 5, but the top 5 cards were going to be unbeatable, obviously. So yeah, we go fetch Necro on the first go around. Next time, probably just draw. Next time, probably just draw, and then on my turn, I draw 3 and put 2 back, putting back most likely Terminus and Seal of Cleansing, which is tutorable, or maybe who knows what. And then from there, I would have played a land, played a Tezzeret, attacked, fetched up I got Necro the first time, and geez, what would I have gone and got? I don't think it matters actually, because Tezzeret would have fetched up Thought Vessel. And on the enchantment side of the house, I could have got Seal of Cleansing just in case there was another target. But there's almost nothing else to worry about at that point. I could have got Ivory Tower, I suppose. No, I couldn't get Ivory Tower. Yeah, that's it. We'll just go get Seal of Cleansing or whatever. So, pretty easy one. Ultra simple. But then again, his Goblin deck wasn't really what a Goblin deck should be. So, Mew Mew, huh? Yes, I would like to play first. Still running undefeated. Alright, Kozilek. Maybe Kozilek will be the secret to beating this deck. But it's unlikely given the power of this draw. So what's the right way to deploy? I can go Vault into Talisman into Grim and then be done. Take some damage from the Vault. I think that's probably right. So if I do it this way, I'll be able to get 2 of my 3 colors down right away. So if I draw another color, I can get this guy down, and then I can draw far more cards than a Kozilek could ever dream of. All right, well, that's one way to get another color into play. So his land is not particularly compelling, like wastelanding that. It's a colorless deck, so I can't color screw him. So I really just want to hit things like Ancient Tomb and other things that produce multiple 3 charge counters. Sure. Multiple colors of mana. Right, and this is another reason for holding it. Okay. Didn't know I was going to draw that, but just having flexible options is important. Alright, so I want to get Tundra and probably a Hallowed Fountain. Almost at commander time. We'll just disrupt his development a little bit. Okay, so I can, if I will, I can wasteland. I can't tithe as well. It's almost worth it just to waste him, but I think the more straightforward win is simply to do this. It looks like he's still developing and not really like able to do anything of merit, so the game will be over long before he ever gets, yeah, that's it. I mean, and that's, I mean, contrast that to Oloro. I play Oloro, he goes, oh, okay, and then, you know, I draw an extra card. It's costing me mana, draw an extra card. And eventually, maybe I get somewhere, but, I mean, this is literally no answer. Okay, I'll just throw a Cyberlantax on the board. What was my next turn? Alright, there we go. Next turn I play Lantern, tax with Zur, go get Necro, and then blah. And now he's playing against this. And that's it. Oh, and yeah, subsequently, of course, I can go get Disenchant, then I can go get Oblivion Ring. I mean, there's just, this commander's, the fact that Zur is legal, I mean, excuse me, Necro is legal is insane to me. But on the other hand, if you're not going to fix cards like Edric and Nin, then and Derevi and Deredi and wait, Derevi and Deredi, yeah, I don't know. There's a whole handful of really unfun, just gross, unfair commanders to have to play against. The Reddy is a good example of one that isn't blue. It's one of the few. It's just so like unfun to have to play against it. It's so abusive. And if you're playing fair and you don't have an abusive commander, then their whole game plan is just better than yours. And I just got tired of that. I got tired of that feeling playing with Oloro. Just saying like everything I'm doing is inferior. When I originally built Oloro, I was building it because I wanted to prove that you don't have to have a commander to win. I built a style of deck like that before Oloro. It was the Sliver Queen 5-color creatureless control deck. Just to demonstrate that good deck building shouldn't have to rely on a crutch like that. But it was a long time ago, and the power level of people's decks in play and understanding of the format's changed. since then. And then right at about the time that I was when those changes occurred in people's playstyle, and I was going to switch to one of the unfair commanders. What happened is we discovered the tuck counters, and then suddenly I was able to be competitive again. I could take their commander out of the picture, and then when I reduced the game to a battle of whose deck is better, and my deck was built to be better than theirs without using the commander. Once I took their commander out of the picture, we were all set. And I could play that way for a while. Basically, my games came down to step one, get rid of their commander. Step two, outplay them, have a better deck, that type of thing. When that rule changed, that's pretty much killed it, and I tried to stick with it for as long as I could and maintain that spirit of trying to win with the cards in the deck and not the cards outside of the deck. But it just became impossible. It became impossible to do. All right, so I'll fetch with this. And I use that fetch land because it only had one reasonably good target. This one has multiples, and I wanted to get it before I actually drew the target. So the life is not super important to me. All right, so he doesn't appear to have a very good disruption. Like, he could have a counter here, but even if he does, I've gotten a counter out of his hand. Basically, this is a disrupting scepter. Yeah. And if he doesn't have a counter, then I just won the game. It's that simple and that stupid. But, I mean, if this was Edric, it's the same story. I would have gone first turn Elf, second turn Edric, and then I'd be attacking right now. The game would be over. If it was Nin, I would have gone land Nin, then land into Signet, and the game would certainly be over as well. If this was the 4 mana blue-black red commander, the one that flies and exiles the top of both players' decks, same thing. Turn 4, kill. Like, all these commanders are just basically, they're just lethal as soon as you attack with them. And for that exact reason, I think the whole commander format is kind of dumb and unfun, but that's the format. So interesting. So I could go get, all right, so I can get 6 mana down. I can transmute model. I can go get like disenchant, for example, and then just chill out on 2 counter spells. I think that's fine. We'll get Necropotence in a second. Oops. Always yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. I would like to go get Seal of Cleansing. Can't actually really beat Azure. Okay. It's first Azure wins, by the way. First Azure down. First person to attack, the other person. Like, it's so... the mechanics are just so dumb. Just in general, this is the one problem I have with Commander. It's a pretty significant problem, too. Sack a Scarecrow, draw a card. Return target artifact creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, that's going to be over before that ever matters. Long before that matters. Alright, so we can get the other coming to play tapped land, which is great. I believe it's Sunken Hollow. Yes. Well, I could just vindicate it, I suppose. Don't think I will, though. Rather vindicate some mana over there. And Necropotence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take out, oh, Basic Island. I might be able to wasteland that one. Alright, there's unlimited hand size. It's not even about necessarily preventing him from getting all of his mana in play. It's about preventing him from getting enough mana in play early enough to matter. So, activated abilities, untap target creature, so they had haste. We don't care about any of that. Was it sack him to draw a card? Okay. Okay, so what's the best way to get unlimited hand size? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 mana to play and use. So, what I'm gonna go get is more mana. And then 1, 2, 3. That way I have, I want to get enough mana for 2 sets of counter spells, and now I'll get Thought Vessel. I should have got Tezzeret actually, now that I think about it, because then I could get Thought Vessel plus I could go get Ivory Tower. Oh well. Seems good. Do I have a swords? Nope, I don't have swords to plowshares. Oh well. Alright, there's an Ivory Tower. Yep. So, you know, basically that's the combo, if you will. You don't have to play any cards that you don't want to play, except for Ivory Tower, but it's a 1 card slot instead of playing the instant kill, because for all intents and purposes this was an instant kill. The game's over. It's just a matter of putting them away, and the easiest way to put them away and make sure that they understand that the game is over is to either do this, or for the ones that stick around, next turn I go play Ivory Tower, and then I wait a turn and I gain 20 life, and then I set aside 20 cards and I gain 40 life, and then pretty soon you get the concession. Of course, if you don't, you just play Tezzeret and kill them, like normal. If Tezzeret's already dead, you've got Yawgmoth's Will, you will play Tezzeret and kill them like normal. So this version actually, among cuts, out of the things that this deck's not using, one of the things it's not using that's kind of amazing is, so the cards it's not using Sensei's Divining Top. It's not using Future Sight. Neither of them, to me, make hardly any sense at all. Much sense when you've got Necropotence on a stick over here. The only card that might make a little bit of sense there is maybe Top for early development, just because you need to consistently hit your mana and you can play Draw Go. Same reason I still have Land Tax and Scroll Rack in here. But yeah, those are out. Top being the first one I might like to put in instead, if I were going to put one back in. Karn is out. So Karn is out of the deck. And why is Karn out of the deck? It's because Karn's a very expensive way to remove a permanent, but I have Oblivion Ring on a stick over here, so unless the permanent's pro-white, Azur's going to solve the problem. If it's pro-white, Is there really anything in the game that we care about that's pro-white? Probably not. So basically, Zur deals with everything that Karn deals with, um, and there's no, there's no. I mean, what it comes down to for the cards that I mentioned, we've got Duress, Thoughtseize, Treachery. So we've got Karn, Oblivion Ring. These are all the new cards that weren't in. So in Oloro we had well, let's do it this way. All right. So what was in Oloro that we don't play in this version of the deck here? Karn's out. Future Sight's out. Factor Fiction. Don't need it. Don't need the card drawing at all. Humility's out for obvious reasons, I think. I could play Moat, but I haven't faced a deck where that's even been slightly relevant. I was playing Recoil for a long time. I was also playing Anguished Unmaking. Both of those are out. Dark Tutelage is out. And what else is out? Dark Confidant is out. And finally, Sensei's Divining Top is out. As far as lands goes, Cephalid Coliseum's gone. Godless Shrine is gone. And that's about it. So if we take a look at what the difference between Zur and Oloro is, it's a lot of card drawing, a lot. Look how many slots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots devoted to card drawing, all replaced by one commander. Just all utterly redundant. Instead, we've got this. I've got better dual land setup. I also have Reliquary Tower and Glacial. What else do we have? What else is different here? I'm actually kind of interested. The mandatory, or the one combo piece that I will, I believe is worthwhile there. And as far as I can tell, just about everything else is the same. There's obviously one other difference. What is that difference? It must be a land. I actually am playing with an extra land. Oh yeah, I have Sunken Hollow. So, more duels. So this is what's out, and as far as like 1-to-1 ratio, it's kind of hard to compare them that way. Future Sight is, I guess, this Factor Fiction. There's really no like comparison. I'll just line them up by mana cost, but you can see the mana curve is lower. The dual lands are better. Yeah, so that's the difference. Now, Treachery is probably the one card where, I mean, if you were to make an argument, say, well, I'd rather have Future Sight than Treachery in the Zur deck, it's not like I would say, oh, well, that's definitely wrong. I was only thinking, okay, I want a replacement for Humility, and my first instinct was Moat, because it doesn't affect Zur, and it does affect a lot. Like that Goblin deck, I could just get a Moat and shut them down and say, you know, whatever. But on the other hand, Mode is useless against other combo/control commanders. In most cases, it's no good against Zur. It's no good against the flying commanders, the flying blue ones, which is most of them. It's no good against Nin. Whereas Treachery at the right time, you know, like you can fight over their commander and then you can just take it, untap all your lands, slam down something else, or have defense ready to go. And I think that's huge. And the fact that it works with Wind Orb is also excellent. So I think this is better than Moat, because most games don't last long enough. Like they don't accumulate enough crap on the ground to worry about having to use a card like Moat because of the fact that Zur ends the game so quickly. So and then these single target like after the fact cards become proactive cards that you want to because you want to like lead off with defenses to Zur so that it's harder for them to protect Zur. Yeah, so humility is treachery. Fact or fiction future sight Karn becomes even more single target removal and more mana, and you just don't. I just don't feel like you need to be spending 5 mana and 4 mana to draw cards, 7 mana to slowly turn things around. Um, when you can very easily. Zur gives you so much more control over what's going on, and you just want a few more targets. These 2 targets here, for him to have that flexibility. So you don't always have to go get Necro or only Necro all the time, and then nothing. And then again, these 2 early cards could be in the deck. Confidant could be in the deck. I didn't really like the effect as much in a deck that's going to abuse Necropotence, like the ability to. Confidant has a certain amount of uncertainty, and I still do have some high-end stuff. I hate to Confidant myself one of these cards. Something in this range here is a little painful. Of all the cards that aren't in there, I think Confidant's the one I miss the most. But I'm not sure that I miss it enough to run it. Kind of be interested in feedback on that. So, and then as you can see, I have more mana, so it makes Mox Diamond more playable because I've gone up by 4 lands, and I also have something to do with the early mana because an early Mox Diamond means an early Zur, and early Zur means the game is ending very quickly. Whereas in Oloro, playing Mox Diamond just meant, ramp into hoping you have something to do with it. And by the time you find something to do with it, you might have already played all your lands and then you don't have no use for the Mox. So it's a very different situation with that. So that's the difference between Oloro and Zur, and I do think Zur is the better deck. I certainly do not think someone would be crazy for playing any of these cards other than Humility in a Zur deck, but there is a reason for why I'm not. So, and that's it. All right, I'm going to drop these back out, and we'll put these back in the deck. I think with Treachery too is another option I considered is a Gilded Drake because I can muddle the mixture for it, but and because it's ultra cheap, and I don't really care about the 3/3 flyer because a 1/4 flyer will attack into it as well as block it all day long. Either way, you can just swing into it and then go get Necro and not even care, take 3 and then untap, and you can just sit there and block. So, but I think I like Treachery's. The unwind effect is it makes a lot of sense to me with Winter Orb. The other thing I thought about was running. I know Brian's running Lightning Greaves. So other equipment that kind of capitalizes on the fact that we have such a cheap commander and could use him. Greaves lets you just slam Zur, equip him, and go, and that might be better than just having Treachery at all. I may not even need something like this. This could be just a wasted slot, and perhaps that makes more sense too. So I'll give that some thought. I think I'd also considered not sort of Fire and Ice, but sort of Feast and Famine. I like Feast and Famine more than I like Fire and Ice in this deck because again, you just don't need card drawing, but having the ability to disrupt them and produce extra mana to do things with the Necro, as well as the synergy with Orb is pretty sweet. But it feels like hitting them for a card or turn is probably too slow. It's just kind of win more equipping your Zur and attacking and then getting Necro, and then oh yeah, I also made you discard 1 card. I just drew 30 and you discarded a card. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, and the fact that it's dead the rest of the time is also my hesitation with Greaves, that it's dead some of the time, but I might be wrong about the Greaves. Maybe Treachery does need to be Greaves. I don't know. I kind of like having a hedge against somebody getting a too fast of a start with a crypt or a soul ring, something I can't really respond to quickly enough, and then having one, another way that I might be able to have a similarly quick start and answer that in a way that turns the game to my favor. So another interesting option, though, all that said, is this slot could also be bribery, because when I'm not playing humility, bribery also becomes a lot more interesting. It punishes people for not playing a deck that looks like mine. Basically, all those, all the green decks and stuff like that, Trastodon targets, Reanimator style decks, any of that stuff, punish them pretty hard. But I don't know that that isn't just redundant and unnecessary, because they're also punished by the fact that I can just go Necro on a stick, and do I really need to bribery them and get their Terastodon or whatever? If I've already run any number of ways, again, it's just kind of win more. So I don't know. This is the one slot, though, that I am at least happy I can manipulate. I could add more counters. I could add Swan Song. I could add Memory Lapse. I could add Negate. I could run Lightning Greaves. I could put the Dark Confidant back in if I think that I need that. I do like playing as many cards that prevent me from mulliganing as possible. So the main enemy of this deck is going to be stumbled mana development and overly mulliganing. So the reason that it's one of the reasons I'm still playing Tax, and it is possibly an argument for running the Confidant because he's a good card to mulligan into. And he also draws fire from Zur, like, you need to remove the Confidant, then you need to remove the Zur. The goal here, of course, is you just want to have that smooth, consistent early development, and then Zur will just win the game for you, and everything else is just kind of, whatever. It's kind of background noise to that. So maybe I could run more artifact mana. I could run Opal. I could run Chrome Mox. I could run the white-black Signet just because of the curve in with Zur. There's a lot of room for a little bit of playing around here. I could also run more disruption like Hymn to Torok and stuff like that. So definitely room to play around with it, but for now, it's what I got, and I feel pretty good about it. Probably do want that Cavern of Souls in here somewhere, but we'll leave it at. And if I do get the Cavern of Souls, maybe Confidant becomes a little bit better. But anyway, let's play a little bit more, and then is this why? I don't know. Something's going on with my close this. Something's going on with my internets, with my web browsers. See, I don't know what's going on. Anything goes. Outstanding. Let's see. Maybe we have anybody hanging out with us. Interested in your thoughts. Nice. Got a few viewers. Sounds muted. Okay. Let's take on Mr. Laplace Demon. Wandering Bard. Banned in some format, I think. Not exactly killer in this one. Oops, I almost passed my turn. Alright, so it's a little bit slow of a start, but it picks up a lot of speed on turn 2, I think. So I am actually going to get not Soul Ring. I suspect I don't think I'm going to get Soul Ring. Yeah. Because I'm trying to get my color situation worked out. I'm trying to get a lot of things going here. So I could get Soul Ring, but I think what I'd rather do is go get Mox Diamond. And the reason is I want to be able to play Mox Diamond. I'm not going to throw away a tower because that's part of my combo here, obviously. And then I can just ponder into something. Okay. So we can Thoughtseize. We got Wasteland. Don't actually have a way to play Zur just yet. 1, 2, 3. Do I want to shuffle? No, I'll take a vamp. So I'm planning to probably draw that Thoughtseize. What is he playing again? Yisan, something. Anyway, I'm probably going to draw that Thoughtseize, I think. Does the creature get haste? No. There's also a wasteland, or there's a wasteland hiding in there, so there we go. Pop out. There's his commander. Okay. Druid, elf, wild growth. Okay, interesting stuff. I probably want to wipe his board right here and not really wait for his commander. So underneath this is a Thoughtseize, and then there's a wasteland. I think I don't think Arbor Elf Forest with wild growth on it is a combo that I can sit around dealing with too happily. And I'm not going to play Winter Orb against that right there. So he can get his commander out, but at least I've cleaned up some of the junk that was out there. And if he doesn't get his commander out, if he wants to disrupt me, I've got Vamp, so like if he were to play a land and activate Dust Bowl and kill one of my lands. Alright, so I can Vamp for... Let me make sure that So I can Vamp for Strip Mine. And I'm strongly considering making that the play. He missed a land drop. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, there we go. That'll work. Missed a land drop again. There's white. Down comes the commander. Out goes Necro. Game over. Cool. Played correctly. It was a little bit like hoping I had the read right, hoping it all worked out correctly, but that worked out just fine. So let's see if we can get another opponent. I wonder if that guy wants to play me again. I have a feeling he probably doesn't. I am planning to build another ultra competitive deck, and you can see the exclamation telling me I don't have the cards for it. That is the deck that I want to go back to building. I'm going to try to put together my ultimate goal over the course of this next year, slowly here, is to put together a series of commander decks that are the best decks of the format. I don't want to I don't want to try to play fair. I don't want to play nice. I want to play like absolute push the format to the brink of what it can do. And so luckily, some of those decks are going to have plenty of them. In fact, we'll have, okay, so yeah, Oloro versus Zur, and you can see how sad that he's going to get that he's playing Oloro instead of Zur. Anyway, so my goal here is going to be, so I'm looking at this deck and Edric, and then Nin as my three starters. All right, I have Urborg, so excuse me, I'm definitely getting a Tundra here. Because I plan to play the Preordain. If I didn't, I would have gone and got the tap fetch at the end of his turn, most likely. All right, I don't need... So do I need any of these? Let's think it through. I'm going to... Next turn I play this and this. I could use them both. I really don't like the idea of that. I think I'll dump that as well. Yeah. It might have been a mistake to throw away the land. We'll see. Those cards are pretty interesting as well. The Temple, the two... okay, I don't... This is Oloro? I don't know what's going on over there. We're going to get our white man out, get our second blue out, most importantly. This is Oloro with Ornithopters? Olornithopter? I don't know. I have no idea what I'm playing. I was hoping it was playing against. I was hoping it was hardcore, but looks like it's something. Anyway, real nice curve here. We get a Thoughtseize with a counterspell. I like that. I like that a lot. And if you got something weird like Ninja the Deep Hours, we've got Swords to Plowshares. Or some other crazy play. Sure. Is he playing... Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm happy with it. He's used up his... Those are the turns you get. The rest are... no more free ones. That's all the free ones you get, bud. Alright, so... Junk. Draw 3, discard 1. This is an instant. This is sorcery. Kind of want to take Jace's Ingenuity and get him to sift into Mana Drain. The rest is... I mean, he's hurting over there. Yeah, we'll take Jace's. We'll just take away his options for later. Looks like I have a really clear run to just slam... to go ahead and just slam Zur down. And maybe I should have just played it. I mean, presumably he's going to make me discard a Swords of Plowshares, but... Rebuilding his hand, hand. Alright, so I could just not give a damn about that. I was thinking about, is there anything I could do if I mana drain that that's useful? Nope. Oh, he didn't make me discard. He wanted to refill his hand, sort of. Refill? I think that might be an exaggeration, but yeah. So with Terrarian over there, you can get double white, which is kind of annoying, but it's fine. I almost maybe should have taken Terrarian. Okay, so how patient do I want to be? Because if I wait, he's going to run Sift. I'll just wait. He's going to run Sift out. I'm going to mana drain, and then he uses loses, right? Then I play a Teferi who's basically free and will generate colored mana for my commander, protected with Deprive. So, and if not, I can hit a land drop. I can play my commander with mana drain mana, and it's good. There's no reason to walk into whatever eggs combo nonsense he might be able to pull off. So yeah, go ahead and just sift up, baby. Give me some mana. Sure. I guess 3 is good. 3, 4, 5. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, that's fine. I don't understand people who get so excited about all the millstone possibilities in a format with 100 cards. It's like people that pack their decks full of lightning bolts in a format with 40 life. I mean, it should be obvious before you start that that's not a good plan, but amazingly not obvious to a large number of people. Millstone and Burn are 2 things you cannot play in this format effectively. I mean, you can try and you'll win once in a great while, but getting lucky is not being effective. Getting lucky is, well, that sounds like I'm talking about something else. Okay, good. So we'll get this guy down, float a little blue, do a little dance. Okay, let's get the blue off of this so that I can cast a Condescend using colorless mana if I need to and not take damage for the second tap. One, two, three, four. 2, 3, and colorless. Alright. We've almost won this game. So he's got 2 cards in his hand. 1 card is Sift. I was really hoping this is a competitive Oloro deck. This is just garbage. He's got Sift and who knows what. Oh, comes into play tap. So bad for him. Lets me Condescend his Sift instead of having to deprive it. He's not even going to play the Sift. He's going to play Traveler's Amulet. That is pretty silly. That's pretty silly. What is he doing over there? You already played a land? Like, this is bad on so many levels. Yeah, sure, buddy. Oh, boy. Figured he'd get, like, white here so he could do that thing. I have the feeling it's like he put his deck together, like one of those players that puts their deck together thinking that like this is how it's gonna go. I'll do this, then I'll do this, then I'll do this. Like not realizing that you draw your cards at random. You know. Anyway, let's go get something. I want to go fetch before I necro. Okay, we'll go get underground. Even though I have a Urborg, but that's fine. And I pretty much have no. I might as well plus Tezzeret because I have nothing to cast. So yeah. Oh, excuse me. So I plus up Tezzeret. Hopefully find I prefer to find something that'll just cause him to concede immediately. But if I don't, then I would, if barring that, I'd like to find a way to have unlimited hand size. I should have held off on playing my land so that I could fetch for a oh, excuse me, so that I could fetch up a way to get unlimited hand size here potentially. Sure, I'm about to have a really big hand, so I will take the workshop and use that to play all the cards I'm gonna get. Well, I guess it won't be all that many because I'm not gonna necro for a ton here. Oh, sorry, with all the yawns. So I'm not going to necro for a ton because I don't have unlimited hand size yet. And I've got 2 counter spells in hand, so it's not like I'm worried about anything. Alright, minus 10. It's ridiculous. Anyway, fortunately he's bonkers as all heck long before you hit the minus 10. In fact, I don't think I've ever minus 10 this guy, ever. I mean, what he does on the way to minus 10 is way too powerful. His minus 1 is definitely the most powerful thing possible, but may I finish my turn here, or all right, now it's back to owning my entire screen. Can I undock it? There we go. I think I have 3 cards. All right, just a simple draw 3 will do. I'm just not going to Swords to Plowshares that Ornithopter, I don't think. Regardless of the fact that it's not letting me kill him with Zur. Well, looks like shop is not coming down next turn. But we'll see. Plus Jace first, or Tezzeret Teferi first, and then see. One of those doggone planeswalkers. I mean, this obviously is not, regardless of my opponent's color combination and commander selection, this is not a game. Draw 3, discard 1. Well, we knew you had it. And I need to get some cards out of my hand. So, no, no, no. Thought I was going to be mana draining that a lot sooner than this. Or countering it. Thought it was going to be mana. Yeah, sure. 1-1 beats for the win. He gets to start taking counters off to Fairy. I'll never get to -10 with that. Maybe he thinks this is like power sync, that it would force him to tap his mana, so he's using it in response before it hits, I guess. I don't know. So this actually is really nice because it works quite well with Teferi. I normally can't get to those cards right away because of Necro, but with Teferi I can, so. And I could strip mine one of his lands, and that might be the way to go. But I kind of think, first of all, let's plus up. Pretty sure we want forbid. Hello. I could attack and then get copy artifact, copy the ornithopter, and then what? Stop his total offense. Shut the whole thing down. Nah, as silly as that is, I could actually, instead of, I could play strip mine chromatic lantern, then copy the lantern, and oh wait, oh no, don't do this to me again. Oh, what's going on? Why can't I see my cards? Oh, show me my cards, please. Holy crap. Alright, close Magic Online again. And I can't just close it because Magic Online says, hey, you want to close? I guess that means that you quit, right? Quit your game. No, I have to force close it with Windows so that Magic doesn't, so it assumes that it was a crash and treats it such, which means I can get back in my game. If I close it voluntarily, it kicks me out for no good reason at all. Like, that doesn't make any sense to take away that option from your, I mean, obviously there's a workaround, so it doesn't do what they're setting out to accomplish, which is prevent me from dropping and coming back in. But what it does do is create a pain in my butt when I need to log out and log in for a good reason. Because I've crashed and reopened Magic Online, the changes that I made to my settings in the last game are now wiped, and I have to re-input those again. It's just stupid. But I think we already knew this program's garbage. So one reason I've been hesitating to spend money. Ever since they changed over to this, I've been essentially on a boycott of the service. I've finally started spending a tiny little bit, just a dribble of money, just to kind of keep things moving. But if I do decide to really push with the rebuilding of Edric and the other decks, then it's going to cost some cash, and then I've really got to think it through as to whether or not that's what I want to be doing. Did he just quit? Is that what happened? Yeah, a lot of people, the game's already over, and then you drop out, and then they just quit. So that sucks. I'm pretty sure it counts as a win for me. No, I lose. So yeah, so it also dorks up my record every time I have to do that. Yep, I've got all these losses in here from having to restart Magic Online. So I'm not even going to worry about the record anymore. It just doesn't mean anything. But yeah, I don't know if anybody knows how to fix that. I'm going to check over here. Somebody put a question. I like Zur and Oloro. I have most of the cards except Shop and Jace. What replacements would you recommend? Okay. Shop's a ramp card, so you're going to have to try to find some kind of equivalent ramp if you can. Obviously, nothing replaces Workshop. I mean, there's a reason that it is Mishra's Workshop, but some possible cards you could use. You could use more artifact ramps. You could run like Mox Opal. You could use or a Signet, for example. You could also run Chalice, Everflowing Chalice. But no, none of those are great, of course. Out of all of them, probably Mox Opal has the most broken potential. Then there's also a few lands you could use that aren't as good as Shop, but kind of do what you want. So you could run City of Traders. You could run, and you can also run Temple of the False Gods. And instead of any of those, another option is you could run the Azorius or Dimer land. So you could run like this guy right here, for example. Come up. And that's, the idea being that you want to run a land that produces multiple mana. The Chancery and Friends do work pretty well with Mox Diamond in the deck and with Lantax in the deck. So there is that. They're a little risky against control. They can punish you for playing them, but again, I mean, ultimately there's nothing that functionally replaces a Workshop. But there's some ways you can get pretty close. And then as far as replacing Jace, if you don't have a Jace, so what does Jace really do? It's a defensive card drawing card. You can replace it with just a card drawing card. So like I don't have Future Sight here, you could just go ahead and put Future Sight back in the deck. Like you could take out Jason Treachery, put in Future Sight, and since he's Divining Top, and then try to work around it that way. You could replace Jace with Tezzeret. The other Tezzeret is not crazy. There's also Narset, or not Narset. I think it's Narset. The blue-white one is kind of interesting. So there's some Planeswalkers that are out there that are reasonable. But if you're playing a lot of 1v1, probably the easiest swap out for Jace is the artifact that you vote on. And it's called Coercive Portal. So the reason I say Coercive Portal, if you take a look at it, as long as the vote's tied, and in a 1v1 match it'll always be tied, you draw an extra card during your upkeep. So it's a 4 mana card that draws extra cards, kind of fits into that same slot. Not even slightly close to as good as Jace, but nevertheless a pretty good card that might be something that you could run if you don't have Jace and you're looking for a replacement. Alternately, you could just also assume that it's not super necessary, given how powerful Zur and Necro is, for you to run a card drawing card here at all and treat this as a defensive slot, which it very frequently is, and you could run another defensive card in that slot. So you could run Recoil, you could run Anguished Unmaking, you could run what's the other one? You could run some cheap Bounce. You could also try to do a card that splits the difference between Jace's card advantage and its defensive potential, and you could run Isochron Scepter. Isochron has the drawback that you can get 2 for 1, of course. Nothing's perfect, I suppose. But the fact that you have the ability to potentially imprint a counterspell or a removal spell like Disenchant and Swords means it can function like a Jace defensively, But it can also generate card advantage the same way. And of course, putting Brainstorm or some, Vampiric on it, being able to do that over and over is pretty much unbeatable. So that's also an idea. It's actually an idea that's pretty interesting to me. Um, but I don't know that it's great because the problem with Icecrons, it's a wretched top deck. Like, you don't want to top deck it. But you're looking for a Jace replacement. I think there's a host of options there. Or you could just go ahead and put Karn back in the deck. I think that makes a lot of sense too. Karn generates card advantage like Jace does. Card protects the board just like Jace does. It's the only reason I have the Jason here, of course, is that he just does it all quickly and effectively, whereas Karn does it slowly and effectively. So some ideas there might be more affordable. So I will type that out as well. But briefly, I'd suggest more mana, such as Opal, Mox Opal, Zorius, Bounce Land, and or more defensive card drawing. Another card I suppose you could run is Liliana, but all right, looks like we got some opponents hopefully, and I will add to that the hope that the game doesn't crash on me. I hate this changed font that they did. I'm hoping they get out of this werewolf theme or whatever is causing the font to look the way that it does. What am I playing? Una, and I've got a great hand, absolutely. Let's see if I can fix my format as well. That's good. So that saved. This didn't. That didn't. That didn't. All right. Man, how good would land tax have been right there? So frequently not good and then randomly wins games, like one white win the game. Okay, well, that's interesting. So we can, I think Grim into Power Stone right away makes the most sense. That gives me a Tezzeret next turn if I want it. I mean, not though. So I'm going to get down Thought Vessel and I'm going to Demonic Tutor, I think. All right, we're almost there. And what I'm going to go get is a way to win the game if my opponent does nothing, because I've obviously got the game won if he does the wrong thing. So I think what I'll do is I'm just going to go get, because I have half of the combo put together already. So I'm just going to get tax. I'm going to sit on Condescend. Let him play an extra land first. And then if he taps out, I'll Condescend, and then I'll drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tezzeret, search up Winter Orb, cast land tax, say go. Tax up, untap some mana sources, play Scroll Rack into a new hand. Win the game, without getting the commander involved. But I do have the option as well, if he does not do anything, to just spend 1 white and cast tax, protect by lots of mana to push it through. Cast Scroll Rack as well, put the combo down on the table, and feel pretty safe about it. So what's nice about tax too is that I could go tax, and then if you were like to tap, say, 4 mana for, I don't know, dismiss, then I could just go Tezzeret Orb you, That's what and that's good enough. So it's a huge threat. And if he lets the tax resolve next turn because of all the mana I have untapped, I put him in the same quandary where I tap 2 and I cast Scroll Rack, and I've got 3 mana untapped to protect it. So, or I just say go, and I untap Grim Monolith at the end of his turn. There's so many ways that this goes well for me. So, do you need him to continue his turn though? Oh, there's the chat hiding up there. All right, stick it to the edge. Can I do that? I just wanted to stay there. Docked. I don't know what I did with the chat just now. It's so hard to use this stupid program. It should not be that hard. All right, well that's fine then. So next turn was, oh, well, okay. Glad I didn't play my commander. I would have drawn that and then been like, whatever. Anyway, I had Scroll Rack to put it back though, so it's fine. Try another round here. Too bad there's no sound or something when people chat. If there was a way that I could turn off the sound for the window and still have sound for chat purposes. Anyway, new opponent playing Maelstrom Wanderer. Hand is outstanding. White? Must be, yep. To say, must be an artifact. Well, that's a nice response. So I can go Urborg, which doesn't help him even a little bit, into this guy. Into this guy. Get myself a Soul Ring. Soul Ring into a Grim, I think. Or a Signet. I think a Grim, because it just gives me more potential next turn. And be done. Hopefully I can slow down his development. Hopefully he doesn't do exactly what I think he's going to do and cultivate. Oh, Green Sun Zenith. No? Fauna Shaman. Okay. That works. Fauna Shaman gets you there eventually, but eventually might be too slow. So I really want to draw some white. Tempted to actually use the Grim in order to run mana into the Signet so that I can hopefully get some white mana. So I think I'm going to do that because I need to have enough. I want white and enough mana left over. So this gives me the plan where I can untap the Signet if this doesn't work out, which it's not really working out for me too well. Bottoming these makes me very unhappy. Ha! But hitting white mana on the other hand, very, very good deal. Okay, let's smoke that thing. Slow your roll, buddy. There we go. And then we play Shackles. Next turn we get a Wasteland him, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, down comes the big man. Nice, and there was a seal there also. Very nice. A little bit of a risk to take that play, but had the highest payout. It wasn't a major risk. dumping the the island and the mana drain in the island to play it. The problem was if I took that, I wasn't really advancing my game plan of getting my commander onto the board. It was just progenitus. Huh? I don't understand why that's the commander. There's about a million other. No, there aren't a million other. There are other multicolor commanders if you want to play multicolor. The best of which by far is Sliver Queen. Unfortunately, Sliver Queen is not good enough, not broken enough to really be worth recommending. But okay, Glacial Fortress. Let's get some more mana down. I want to kill this before he gets to use it, so hopefully we'll get to do that. Boom. Okay, perfect. So I was hoping to kill it by fabricating for a crypt and then sacking this and then killing that. But because I have Strip, Crucible, Force of Will, and a blue spell, I don't want to dump the blue spell, so let's kill this. Because I'm thinking I'm going to get a concession next turn. I'm thinking he's dead. I don't see much going on over there. I probably actually should have killed the Godless Shrine, but then, yeah, I should have killed the Shrine. There was no reason to give him colored mana. I just let him sit there with a Verge you can't use. I suppose if he got Ancient Tomb, I would have felt bad, but that's it. Okay, good. Now we have an extra Force of Will option. Alright, so I was going to strip this if he fetched at the end of my turn. He didn't. So you can get out of this with Bodruka Bog or alternate mana sources. If you have neither, then there's no out. You can also get out of it with a Ancient Tomb and a Frozen Grip. I wouldn't be able to counter either one of those. Sure, we can play. Okay. Arkham Dagson. Arkham Dagson's going to have a real problem trying to beat this hand. He has to naturally draw what I can intentionally draw. So so I think the lead off here going first is going to be Enlightened Tutor for Crypt, draw the Crypt, play the Crypt, and then cast a Crucible, replay a land, go ahead and play the tax at that point. Alright, Crypt. So now we're guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, there's no guarantees, but pretty good chance here. Yeah. And because I'm, strangely enough, because I'm fetching repeatedly, I'm going to go ahead and get Scrubland here. Don't usually do that, but tax has 5 basic islands that it can get if I'm going to tax at all. And I very well may not, so what does he want, a Crypt or a Crucible? Perfect. Crucible is fine with me because it's terribly slow and he has no targets. It's an insurance policy against me killing him with recurring wastelands, but absolutely do not need that at all to win. So alright, so you can get Arkham down now, but it's too late. If that's his play, he loses the game. It was an outcome I'm quite happy with. All right. Wait, what did he play? Destroy all curses you have hexproof. Yeah, that's not really too good. I could kill that. So what's the right way to do this? So I can kill that if I want. Go ahead and duress him at that point, and then fetch a winter orb, or I can just fetch necro and fabricate for unlimited hand size. That makes more sense. Let's fab up unlimited hand size. Thought vessels. So putting this combo together is obviously like semi-trivial, which is another reason why it's quite good. I didn't play the land in the graveyard since it does damage to me, and I'm going for necro here now. And okay, now we just click it a lot. Semi-mindlessly. Alright, so I've got the crypt running. Of course, if I need to, I can attack with Zern, and I can there we go. I can go get Seal Cleansing or something and just get rid of it, but unlikely to be an issue. I'm sure somewhere in this pile of things there's a way to go get Ivory Tower. In fact, there it is. Tezzeret. Very good way to do it. And if I have any cheating mana, I can slam Teferi into play first, and then untap permanents that produce multiple mana and actually come out ahead. But obviously, 26 cards in hand to 5. Game over. Yeah, the guy challenged me to a... That was pretty funny. He lost the first one because I just went and got Crucible, so he's like, I challenge you to a rematch. Like, okay, well, how about if I play my commander this time? Yeah. And that's the problem, right? I won the first game very, very, very easily. Well, he's trying again. I admire his resilient personality. But this is the problem. It's a control deck that'll wreck you, potentially, and sure. So he's going first, which is a huge deal here, obviously. And he didn't play an elf. So, and at the same time, to finish the thought, it's a broken commander. So, last game also, he led off with, oh boy, Ancient Tomb now. He had Soul Ring last time. It's pretty unfortunate stuff for me. I'm going to go ahead and try to keep on developing my mana. So now I can get caught up on the mana wars. And potentially just, he plays, if he were to play Edric here, Forest Edric, then I'm in great shape. Urtai, oh my gosh, this guy with his freaking mana. Is it 4 to counter a spell? Super slow stuff over there. Well, I don't have my commander, which would just be a win right here. So we'll have to... This is why it's kind of hard to... Somebody's asking, can we replace Jace? Yes, but it's very difficult because it's hard to find 3 boomerangs with 4 mana. Yeah, Urtai is okay. Alright, so I want to kill the tomb. I want to kind of want to scroll rack. That's the problem. I can rack for 2. I can 0. Yeah, this guy doesn't really do much to Jace. Okay, there we go. So let's dump at least 1 basic. We'll dunk the Sunken Hollow. Let's get a city down. And I can play my commander, but I think I'll give him a tiny little bit more time. Play my commander next turn. What I'm hoping is he plays a blue here, and then he sits on Urtai waiting to counter, and then I just waste his tomb, and then he can't. Or at least he won't be able to do it with that thing. Or I bounce it. Either way. Yep, there's no coming back. Sure. I'm sure you had stuff. Alright, Edric up. I hope that me closing that didn't just prevent me from searching my deck like it usually does. Oh, wow. It's one of those insane, like, keep with no land hands and take the chance. Alright, he's probably going first turn bird, I guess. So if I get a land here, my draw is... Oh my gosh, with the Soul Ring Tomb draws every time. Not that I don't have a pretty abusive hand myself, but... Also, ripping that on time was really nice. So I could get the Power Stone down, or I can go Talisman into Seal. What makes more sense? Because I'm expecting him to play a creature that I need to Swords to Plowshares. But who frickin' knows? Play Talisman, and then what would I seal for? I think we'll do that. So depending on what he does, if he's able to disrupt my mana, for example, I've got a backup plan on top of my deck. Sure, that's some slow shit right there. We're good with that. Yeah, it's really hard to find replacements for cards like Workshop. Okay, so I can stop most anything he can do next turn that's a concern to me. Sure. He's throwing away what, Rift Sweeper? That doesn't actually stop commanders. Yeah. See, still got to cast the card. Survival doesn't cast it for him, so cool. We get to hold the counter spell to protect our commander. Sure. And alternately, I can just block. But we'll take a shot here. Cool. Alright, that was nice. Always nice. The bad thing is I can't really get the commander down because I didn't draw colored mana and also mana leak. So do I want to risk it? I think against him, yes, because he's playing a deck where I don't really have the kind of time that I want. So I have to hope that the Swords to Plowshares was not a mistake, that he's not going to go get Gilded Drake right here. There's a lot of things I have to hope don't happen. Okay, Linvala. Can't cast blue creature spells. Interesting. Who the hell main decks that? This guy. Well, that's a problem. Maybe I, again, shouldn't have been so risky. Huh. Well, I suppose I can lose if my opponent's is set up the way that he's set up, where he's kind of pre-sideboarded against me, but that's fine. I guess like that just happens. That's painful. All right, well, there's plenty of things I can draw, like many things I can draw that'll win the game on the spot for me. It's actually interesting because most of the good commanders are blue. This might actually make sense in a deck. Might make sense in any deck, really. Um, Pretty much every like superior commander is blue, so the fact that it says none of the good commanders can be played against you and deal with them if they are. Well, frustratingly, I did not draw a card that does anything. So maybe I'm going to get flooded out. Sure, bud. All right, well, that makes me quite sad. The frustration is tangible. 3 cards that don't produce mana so far. I do need a non-mana card, please. Ha! And this is why I hate duress. I'm done. This is one of the reasons why I tend not to play cards like this. I am playing it on because of the way that Zur tends to work, but it often isn't my favorite thing in the world. I may end up going back. I don't like cards that only affect the future and not the present. So yes, hurry up. So what can we draw that'll win? Well, I can draw Terminus that'll win. I could draw Tezzeret that'll win. I could draw like basically anything. But I need to draw it now. And I did not, so I suppose I just concede. Okay, good game. You got me. Can't play Zur. Yay! Was I ever gonna draw? Was I ever gonna get out of this? Holy crap! No, but it's because this right here. If that was Karn, well, whatever. Can't really base a whole entire thing around that, but it is interesting. And my first loss, that's good. Wins with the pre-sideboarded card. That's interesting and maybe worth playing. So it's always good. Man, I certainly could have played that different. All right, it's unfun now. The problem with like the problem with when that kind of thing happens is that now I'm not going to have fun playing for a while, and it's usually like where I quit, not because I've lost and I'm mad, but because I now I have to go back to playing bullshit like this low caliber garbagey stuff that just doesn't present any challenge at all. And I only want to play against challenges. So if somebody proves that they can beat me, then I want to play them again and again. But now I've got to just play this trash. I'll just tide my way into black. It's fine. Black, and we'll get some blue as well. Okay. Well, what is he going to go get? What do I want to go get? I'm going to draw something next turn. I could just draw swords. Just kill his guy and then move on with the game. I think I'll just do that. Sure, bud. Just walk into my It's just so boring. It's so boring playing against garbage like this. Uh, yeah, whatever. Give me the mana. Okay. Black, blue, white. Laser, and you're dead. I feel really bad that I screwed that game up, though. It really irks me. So I could go get Mystical, or I could just go get... why don't I just go get Forbid? I'm just thinking 2 turns ahead, you know? Force of Will here, and then Forbid with Necro. Yep. Okay, Force of Will here. And then blah, 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 win the game. Okie doke. There's Arid Mesa, I suppose. Let's draw a card, sure, whatever. Gotta remember I can attack and kill anything, so don't want to waste too much time on stuff like that. And we'll just show him why he should concede now. Don't need either of these. All right. Okay, so now we can cast Forbid twice. So I'm not even going to bother deploying anything in my hand. Ah, one of my 3 targets. Alright, so I can teachings at the end of his turn if I want to. I think I will. Although I cannot counter at the moment. He doesn't know that. Doesn't need to know it either. Yeah, we'll just go get a counterspell. Counter, counter, counter until you give up. Like you're supposed to. Alright. Then... just get those permanents, oops, on the table. Doesn't matter, actually. Okay. Go ahead and get 1 extra mana, or I'll just get a seal in advance of whatever he might be doing. My last target, of course. That's funny, man. I drew them both. Sure. All right, so now it's just shuffle my deck. All right, there we go. There's unlimited hand size if I want it. All right, so these produce mana, so we'll just keep putting them into play. That one actually has targets. Oh boy. I guess this guy's really going to make me beat him to death with Zur. That's fine. Oops. Forget to turn off auto yells. It's going to take time away from me that I don't need to be wasting. Okay, main deck. Or main phase, I should say. All right, so a good scroll rack, which is kind of interesting. I think scroll rack actually makes a ton of sense here, but I think thought vessel makes even more. I get scroll rack, and then I can just basically get a new hand constantly with Zur reshuffling over and over. But this is fine. 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't have enough mana to do all that much, so we'll just draw some cards. So I want to make sure I stay above. If he were to cycle, there we go. There's tower. So if he were to cycle Decree of Judgment, he could make with an Ancient Tomb. He could make up to it's -3 mana, so he has 9 in play already. So you'd be able to make a pretty good amount of guys, and I just want to make sure that I stay above him killing me with a lethal attack like that, so I could just clear it with Terminus afterwards. So I'm not sure why he thinks anything's ever going to resolve, but in this particular case, no, really, I just want him to concede, so. All right, let's away some pain lands. Thank you. All right. If he wasn't going to scoop there, of course, he would have scooped to the Ivory Tower, metamorph the Ivory Tower turn, I imagine. God, I'm still stinging over that loss. I'm 100% certain that I misplayed that and easily could have won it. I got a little reckless. But, I mean, with the Swords of the Plowshares. But, I mean, it's just, I mean, I don't know. I should have played around. He could have had Sower. There's so many things he could have done that it was just foolish for me to play the way that I did. So, and I deserve to lose when I make bad plays. I could keep this and try to condescend into something, but I don't really feel like there's any reason to do that with this deck. Actually, I'm going to dump a Tomb. This is fast enough. This deck, you just want to, get to your commander, so fiddling around with trying to get Jace and everything is just unnecessary and a distraction. it's a viable distraction when it's going to be hard to get to the commander. But all right, very nice. Let's do it this way. So good against black. I don't want to yield time to turn in case he plays something that I might like to seal. Some kind of specter makes me discard cards. Fine. I don't know what they did to make everything so challenging in this version of Magic Online, but it is a pain trying to play now. Okay, that was unfortunate. I drew an extra basic. Did not need that. So I can play my commander. He can kill it and then hit me for a card, and I think I'm okay with that. Because at some point, I mean, I gotta get the removal out of his hand anyway, and this gives me a sense of comfort that he isn't gonna somehow kill my guy and then make his guy buff with some kind of enchantment and rip my hand to pieces. And of course, if he doesn't kill my commander, I just block and kill his guy. Don't even care about wither. Yeah. Man, I really question how I feel about that duress. It's the one card that I don't know if you noticed, but it's a not the original art because I wasn't sure I wanted to go out of my way to collect the right version of the card. Given that I really dislike duress in general because I don't like cards that top deck so poorly. And then I had that game where I'm like looking at it going, why aren't you Karn? Alright, well, I guess we just vindicate his guy and feel vindicated with my decision. Actually thinking about taking out a land. The cards really don't matter to me much. I think actually land makes a lot more sense here. With a temple staring me down, I don't want to deal with that. Yeah, cool. Yeah, and I don't even think I get Necro there. I attack with Zur, go get Oblivion Ring, take this guy out. Got Spell Pierce, so I'm pretty safe. And then next turn, I guess I draw Demonic and then go get Necro from there. And DT into the artifact. It gives me unlimited hand size. Play land, play that thing, call it good. So, alright, other than my one stupidly played game, I think I'm doing alright. Imperial Armor. That's pretty funny. So Double is telling me that he put Imperial Armor because some people won't concede to Necro. So he just attacks for 30 something on Zur and one shots people. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting. I need to think about that one. Huh. Imperial Armor. I wonder how much it costs. That's kind of an interesting plan. No, I don't want band restricted list. I don't want couch tuner. I want bots. There we go. It's Imperial Armor this way? No, it's Imperial. It's Impure something. Wait, how is that thing spelled? Oh, Imperial. I must be spelling this. Wow, there it is. Wow, that is spelled funky. Okay, so how much is this thing? And I'm definitely certain it's not Haunting Misery I'm looking at. Dirt cheap. So I can go over to this guy and probably get one. It's pretty interesting. I'll have to think about that double. It's a neat idea. Just the idea of swinging in for an immediate um, kill like that. It's kind of interesting. Although I have found in most cases, basically it would be Imperial Armor or Ivory Tower. I found in most cases if I plop a tower down, the game just ends. Like I haven't yet found a single individual who fails to concede to that. Even the most hardcore of like players just, I don't know. I'm sure there's people out there who won't, but man, maybe I should put Karn back in. I really don't like Duress that much. I really like Karn a lot. I I don't know. I think I will. I'll leave Thoughtseize in though. I like the fact that Thoughtseize hits anything. It's disruptive, it's good, but oh, something's locking up. Come on, magic. There we go. Is there anything else I might like? Could have been better for me there. I don't know. I do think Karn's an amazing card, so I kind of like having a Disrupting Scepter in my deck, but I also like just generally having something like that. The other thought is Thoughtseize versus Anguished Unmaking. Thoughtseize is better leading off. Anguished Unmaking is better as a top deck. It lets you play some draw go pretty well. Lets you deal with when the card that you want to stop is not in their hand, but rather it's their commander. Might just run that over Thoughtseize too. Getting more and more Oloro like if I do that, but maybe that's not a bad thing. I think I will do that. I think I'm okay with that. A little bit of life lost and everything, but I just really like having the ability to. I really like having the ability to deal with board states that I'm behind on, and I think that gives me more top decking power. Is there anything else I would switch? I can't think of anything else. Seems pretty good. This Imperial Armor idea is certainly something that I'll keep in the back of my head there. Keep kind of working on. Try a few more games and then I'm probably going to call it for a while. Garador. Alright, well I've got a fast start, so this is a good Miri's Guile, a terrible Sylvan Library. A mediocre top. Oh wow. What is the play? So what I want to do is turn 2 Zur. So the way to do that is and then for anybody who's curious or hasn't already realized, if you have Arid Mesa and a Flooded Strand gets any dual land in the deck. Arid Mesa only gets the white one. So if I know I'm getting white, even though this is a better land, basically, the correct card to search with is the one that's, you always want to go get your dual land with a search with your least useful search, as long as you know what you're getting. And if you don't know what you're getting and you're not sure, then you should not sacrifice your land in the first place. Usually think it out and then figure out which one's the last one to go should be the best one. So I think that's obvious to everybody, but paying attention to those little details. I watch other people play and they miss like just little details like that, and it just eats me up because I'm like, you shouldn't. You want to make the right play all the time, you know. All right, so I'm not gonna go. This isn't. I don't have to go big mana here for any reason. So all right, answer it or die. So if he has an answer, I can go Tomb and replay it again. If he has no answer, I go Tomb into Dynamo, having exactly 2 blue up for a counterspell, and that's it. It's game over. So let's see. There's tons of things you could have, of course. Edict, Maelstrom Pulse, Oblivion Ring, Vindicate, whatever. Lots of stuff. Swords to Plowshares. Mana Crypt and something else. Powerful, perhaps. Be funny if he's mind twisting me here. Yep. Utterly pointless, my friend. You got my cards. Oh. Nice top deck. Perfect. Yeah, I think I'll get Scrub. Actually, I don't really want to take damage. So normally I would want to get a Seal of Cleansing and take that out right away, but I am not messing around with an empty hand here. Okay, oh, even better. Go away. And that's it. Good game. Yeah, I mean, Oloro would never be able to, like, it would be so hard for Oloro to recover from that right there. But the fact that I just tapped out for this guy and he punished, quote unquote, like punished me with a Mana Crypt into Mind Twist your entire hand away, concede on the next turn, it just shows how much better Zur is than pretty much any other commander in these colors. I mean, it's just, what is he going to do here? I mean, the game is utterly over for him. So, awesome stuff. And I think that's a pretty reasonable time for me to take a pause and do some other things. Double saying, oh, he puts it in in paper against players he knows refuse to concede. Probably those types of players are the kinds that are probably a little easier to beat anyway, so that makes a lot of sense to me, double. To bring in Imperial Armor against players you know won't concede and will just be sitting there wasting your time, and leave it out against everybody else, since it's kind of a card you don't really want to top deck. I was going to be done, but I've got to play one more. I just love to play. Still, oh, well, this guy won't accept challenges, so maybe not. Well, anyway, this looks like where I'm going to finish the build. I don't mind the fact that I put in some more cards. I certainly could go back on the treachery and make it a future sight and not feel bad about that. I could even run Sensei's Divining Top in here somewhere and not feel bad about that. I will not take out every tower, however, because I think that it has a use, an important role to play. It is my make you give up card for the players that won't. For some reason, people think that when I have 30 cards in hand and I only have 4 life, that they have a chance. No matter how far from the truth that is. So, but also because I don't like having to worry, like disenchant my own mana crypt and stuff like that. Don't really care for that scenario. So, so yeah, if I put top in here, it would go somewhere. I do like having the card. I do like the flexibility of it. I like the way it works with the tutors. A way to put it in could be to go down to 31 lands, put it in a land slot, and then maybe play the other black-white dual land, for example. I don't know. Give it some thought. But top in Future Sight versus Treachery, like I said, it's kind of out there. I think Treachery is a pretty strong card. I certainly wouldn't mind it against Edric, but then again, Future Sight can just outright win games as well. It's just that if I'm going to play a 5-mana sorcery that can win the game, I often feel like, why don't I play a 4-mana sorcerer speed that can win the game? And the only real difference that I can see is that Future Sight's harder for some people to kill. So, you know, it's kind of up in the air for me. But that's all I've got for now, and thank you all for checking out my channel, and hope you had fun watching me play. Got 6 people watching. That's actually, I think that's like a record for me, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to wrap it up for now, and maybe play some like Civ 5 or something, or just take a break and get ready for the work weekend. I probably should do that. So anyway, y'all, thanks again, and I'll see you next time.